Hello, all you horror fans, and welcome back to Terrible Reviews. I am your host, David, and today's movie is 1973's The Exorcist. Now, I do need to preface this. The Exorcist is in my top 5 horror films of all time, as well as my top 5 films of all time. I do have a huge bias towards this movie, so do take my criticism with a grain of salt here. Again, this is my opinion, so if you've not seen this movie, go and watch it yourself. Because, in my opinion, this is the demonic possession movie. It set the standard, in my opinion, for demonic possession movies, and I've yet to see a movie that has stood above The Exorcist in that regard. So, let's get right into the actual review. So, first off, terror. Was this movie scary? Yes. This one gets an easy 5 out of 5 for me. The atmosphere that they make with this movie is utterly unsettling. It is creepy all the way through, starting from about like the 20-minute mark actually. There's an excavation scene at the beginning which has some creepiness to it, but it's not until we meet our main characters that it really starts rolling. And the intense feelings that you'll have will just keep ramping up throughout the movie. It keeps getting more intense. I absolutely love what they did, and we'll get more into it with the story and the writing in this movie, because that is a big deal of it. But the effects, everything in this movie were absolutely terrifying. I've watched this movie at least 9 to 10 times now, and every time I leave feeling like uneasy. This movie is scary in the best ways possible. Now, the gore in this movie. I do have to concede something. The effects, most of them work and still hold up, but some do not. The green ooze is kind of silly. There are, some jokes in this movie that are unserious, made by the demon, but overall, it doesn't take away from the scariness or the gore. It's just that one thing kind of sticks with me. But there are many, many effects, both with Reagan's face as well as just things that happen in the movie, things that move and stuff that were done practically. That this is 1973, they had to work extra hard to make these effects work, and for them to hold up to this day the way that they do, they did an amazing job. There's also, if you are going to watch this movie, I would recommend the extended cut. There are some added things, such as the crab walk scene that is very famous, was not in the theatrical release because they did have to CG out some cables that were used for that they couldn't at the time that the movie was released. So I do recommend the extended cut. You will get some extra effects in there. They're definitely well worth it. So we're going to go with a 4 for gore, just because some of the effects did not hold up. As much as I do want to give it a 5, I have to be honest with myself and give it a 4. So, moving on to story. Now, like I said, for terror, the story in this movie is what carries it throughout for me. I cannot find any problems with the writing in this movie. I think it works throughout the movie. I feel like they didn't waste a single minute with this movie. Everything builds up to the next scene. Everything builds up to what's happening throughout the movie. And it's just great. The actors themselves did phenomenal. These are the most realistic performances that you might see in a horror movie or in film in general. These characters feel real, and the writing and direction helped this movie so much in that aspect. But I do have to give props to the actors. They did phenomenal. I can't take away anything from the story in this movie other than it being amazing. So 5 out of 5 for story. And then lastly, fun. Was this movie fun? No, it is not fun. It is creepy. It is unsettling. It is absolutely, if it's your first time watching it, you probably will have nightmares if you do dream that night. This movie is so hell-bent on just creeping you out, and it just works. So is it fun? No, but I give it a 5 for fun, because that is the essence of a good horror movie. We're not talking about fun as in it's a B horror movie with a funny script and a bunch of jokes. While there are some jokes jokes, but it's the demon like just making fun of what's happening around them. This movie is fun if you're a horror fan. So 5 out of 5 for that. If you're a horror fan, you will enjoy watching this movie if you haven't already. Go watch it. I will say it as many times as necessary. Go watch this movie if you have not. Even if you have watched it, if you haven't watched it in a while, go watch it again. You'll remember what I'm saying. You'll agree with me. I believe it. But if you don't, let me know in the comments below. Was this movie terrifying or terrible? This one, 100% terrifying, and I will stand by that until my dying breath. So, that was Terrible Reviews with 1973's The Exorcist. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit the follow button, and if you like the video, hit the like button. But I'll see you guys in the next review.